As the news was revealed today on what really led to the crash of the chopper that killed General CDF Francis Ogolla, a lot of people have been talking in low tones. Now, according to us here on the Kenyan Daily Report, you all know we always do our due diligence and dig deep into a story in another perception. The story of one General Francis Ogolla is one that mostly the government hates when it hears it being mentioned. Now, that leaves us with question marks. Why does the government hate or is so scared when it hears the case of the death of Francis Ogolla being mentioned? Among many things that have been spoken were speculations whether the death of Francis Ogolla was really an accident or it was an orchestrated assassination. Today, I want us to talk about some key projects that were initiated by General Francis Ogolla under the Kenyan Defense Forces and under the Kenyan military that might have triggered or led to the death of this man. As of today, being on 11th of April 2025, remembering that our CDF General Francis Ogolla died on 18th of April 2024. About a week from now, that is when we will be having a 1 year anniversary since the death of General Francis Ogolla. The KDF revealed that what led to the crash of the chopper that was carrying one General Francis Ogolla was due to a mechanical failure, an engine surge, or should I call it a compressor stall as they are calling it. The investigation into the death or the crash of the chopper that killed General Francis Ogolla has been ongoing since last year after the incident happened. Now, General Francis Ogolla is one man that currently Kenyans can really miss how this man functioned. Being a four-star general, General Francis Ogolla served with dignity for the several years that he served in the military until rising to the rank of the CDF, the Chief of Defense Forces. Now, before going further, General Francis Ogolla was a general that was put into this position that he held by the former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And to start with one key major project that saw, the military of the country really, we witnessed a growth in the military of the Republic of Kenya when General Francis Ogolla, together with former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, in 2021, they launched a, a weapon manufacturing company in Kenya, which was the first one, the National Security Industries, which is located in Ruiru. Now, the National Security Industries is a small arms factory in Ruiru, Kiambu County, Kenya, which was formally launched on 8th April 2021. The factory was set up to manufacture small arms to serve local security forces and currently has a manufacturing capacity of 12,000 assault weapons a year with a rate of at least 1,000 a month. The factory was built at a cost of 37.5 million US dollars and was intended to fully meet demands of Kenyan security forces within 5 years by diversifying production to upper and lower receivers for 5.56 mm AR-115 type assault rifles, 7.6 millimeter rifles, and 9 millimeter pistols. That was one of the projects that was initiated by General Francis Ogolla. Now, among other things that we also happen under General Francis Ogolla is when the Kenyan Air Force was rewarded. The Kenyan Air Force was given military, or let me say, choppers by the United States government. Now, according to what we have been thinking. As of recently, we all heard the former Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, exposing that the government of Kenya has been in business with the Sudanese militants or rival force called the RSF. Now, the Kenyan government being in business with RSF, it means that the Kenyan government has been receiving gold from RSF, according to Rigathi Gachagua, and then they have been supplying weapons to Sudan. Now, could it be that these weapons that are being supplied to Sudan are the weapons that are being manufactured in Kenya under the Kenyan weaponry manufacturing plant that was launched in the year 2021 by President William Ruto and the then CDF Francis Ogolla? You know, the military of Kenya is one uh, body that receives a lot of funding from the Kenyan government. The military receives a very huge budget, and this budget is meant to make everything efficient within the military, even through buying weapons, buying materials for manufacturing weapons. Now, according to intel that we are receiving and according to analyzation, the death of Francis Ogolla, many tell us that it might have resulted due to his contradicting opinion to the government manufacturing weapons which were meant to be used by the Kenyan forces, but then they decided to sell them outside. And which country, who are the people that the government is in business with that require weapons more than Sudan's militants, the RSF? Now, the money that the government of Kenya makes through the gold that they receive from Sudan is in billions and billions of money, not the government. We are speaking about the president. Now, according to the theory that we are all speaking about, the military ruled off foul play, but we all know, even if the military would have found that something was done to the plane that killed General Francis Ogolla, that wouldn't be made public. They would have just looked for a story, a cover-up story to cover the whole incident. Now, apart from this, General Francis Ogolla being a man that served this country with dignity, he was a man that had values that couldn't be compromised. And that is why when such deals that are happening currently, we have seen the CDF currently singing praises and even warning Kenyans against using anti-government and governmental terms like Ruto must go and all that. The military being used as a tool of intimidation towards the public of the Republic of Kenya. But I sit down and wonder, could it be that the general was in contradiction to what the people, the men that hold power in this republic wanted? Could he have been opposing? Now, let me tell you, one thing that we know currently, a company by the name of Starbucks is the company that supplies jet fuel to all military planes, supplies petrol to every military vehicle in the country, and this company is owned by the president and co. Are we together? Now, these are some of the things that our general was against. Are we together? And could it be bad to say that the general's influence and how he was in opposition of what was going on is what really led to the plane crash that killed him? Because when you tell us that it was a mechanical failure, a very uncommon thing. We haven't, I mean, in Kenya, it is so rare to see something like that happen. The last plane that killed a high ranking official was the one that killed George Saitoti and Ojode. The next one came years later in the case of General Francis Ogolla. Hmm? Now, those are the questions that a lot of Kenyans are asking after the revelation that came in that the mechanical failure or the engine surge as the cause that triggered the crash that killed the general. I would really want to hear what is your take in regards to this. Leave a comment in the comment section.